Noah woke before the alarm even rang. A thin sliver of sunlight slipped through the gap in the blackout curtains, illuminating the dust floating in the room. Just as Noah tried to sit up, he froze when he noticed the faint red marks left on his wrist. It was the place Leo had grabbed yesterday. Leo's back as he left the hotel room, and the words he had left behind. Disgusting. Even though those words had pierced into Noah's chest like a dagger. Strangely, he could not resent him. Instead, Leo's tears and the heat of his body had gnawed away at Noah's warmth all night long. How did we end up like this? Noah stood blankly in front of the mirror, examining his still swollen eyes. 7 years ago, he had believed running away was the right answer, for Leo's sake and for his own. But the Leo who had returned to him carried an even deeper abyss than before, and Noah realized now that there was nowhere left for him to run. The air in the office was as dry as always. Noah sat down at his desk, trying his best to act as if nothing had happened. The blinds of the team leader's office were firmly shut. On any other day, the door would have opened several times for the morning meeting, but today it did not open even once throughout the entire morning. Leo had chosen a method far crueler than treating Noah like he was invisible. Complete distance. Instructions were delivered through messenger or other team members, and there was not a single moment of direct face-to-face contact. At lunchtime, Noah heard the team members leaving the office in a group, but he remained seated. He had no appetite. Then, the firmly closed door of the team leader's office opened very slowly. Noah stiffened his shoulders, pretending to look over his documents. Leo headed toward the pantry without even glancing in Noah's direction. As he passed by, his distinct sandalwood scent brushed against Noah's nose. It was only for a brief moment, but Noah held his breath. Under the sleeve of Leo's suit, the veins on the back of his hand flashed into view, more pronounced than usual. It was proof that he, too, was struggling desperately to endure this silence. During the afternoon work hours, Noah tried to shake off his distracting thoughts by obsessing over every font and every letter spacing in the revised proposal, but his focus did not last long. Even the light jokes from his coworkers at the next desk scraped against his nerves like sharp fragments. "Assistant Manager Lee, you're really quiet today. Are you feeling sick?" Assistant Manager Park from the next desk spoke to him. Noah forced the corners of his mouth to lift. "No, I just didn't sleep well. The proposal needs to be finished soon, so I was concentrating." "As expected, Assistant Manager Lee, you're so diligent. Team Leader Kang seems really sensitive today too. Aren't you two overworking yourselves?" Instead of answering, Noah took a sip of coffee. The bitter liquid slid down his throat. The fact that this strange silence between Leo and him was unstable enough to be noticed by others made Noah even more uneasy. Noah knew. This parallel line could never last forever. The fight would only end when one of them bent the line first. After working hours ended, the office lights began to turn off one by one. Noah deliberately delayed leaving work. He wanted to move only after confirming that Leo had left. But Leo, too, showed no sign of coming out of his office. At last, when only the two of them remained in the office, Noah picked up his bag and stood up. Just as he was about to open the door and leave, the door to the team leader's office swung open. "Let's talk." It was a low, sunken voice, yet it carried a force that could not be refused. Noah stopped. When he turned around, Leo was standing there, leaning against the doorframe. His tie was loosened, and one or two buttons of his shirt were undone. Instead of his usual perfection, his appearance was steeped in deep exhaustion. "Is there something you need me to report?" Noah asked, pretending to be businesslike, but his voice trembled faintly. Instead of answering, Leo walked toward him. The sound of his shoes echoed across the empty office floor. Leo stopped right in front of Noah. The distance between them was greater than the rough closeness of last night, but the air between them was even hotter. "How long are you going to keep avoiding me?" "I wasn't avoiding you. You were the one who—" "Yeah, I was. I'm the one who said it was disgusting, and I'm the one who pushed you away." Leo let out a hollow laugh and rubbed his face with one hand. "But Noah, I felt like I was dying all day today. You were sitting right there, and not being able to say a single word to you. It felt more like hell than when you disappeared 7 years ago." At Leo's confession, Noah's heart sank. The dam of emotions he had forced shut for 7 years began to collapse. Looking at Leo's wet eyes, Noah finally realized it. This man had been loving him in order to hate him. "Me too. It was hard for me too, Leo. Even though I thought it was only natural for you to hate me, it hurt so much just watching your back. I even thought I'd rather have you get angry at me like you used to." In the darkness of the office, The two of them looked at each other for a long time. "You haven't eaten dinner, have you?" Leo asked. His voice had softened slightly, as if he were trying to change the atmosphere. "No. Let's go. I wonder if that snack bar we used to go to 7 years ago is still there." "That place is gone. The area was redeveloped 3 years ago." At Noah's answer, Leo looked blank for a moment, then gave a small laugh. "Right. It's been 7 years. Of course things wouldn't stay the same. Then let's go somewhere new. Somewhere you know." Leo walked ahead first, lightly brushing Noah's wrist with his fingers before letting go. Noah looked at his back and slowly began to move his feet. There were still misunderstandings they had not resolved, and wounds they had inflicted on each other remained. But at least tonight, it felt like they could walk side by side, stepping on each other's shadows. For the first time in 7 years, it was an ordinary yet precious walk home from work. Inside the restaurant, the two of them sat side by side at a secluded bar table in the corner. Leo, who looked as if he would usually enjoy fine dining in a suit, glanced around as though this old, cramped restaurant felt unfamiliar to him. But soon enough, he obediently accepted the chopsticks Noah handed him. "This is the place I used to come to alone whenever it rained." Noah broke the silence first. Leo filled his glass with water and answered in a low voice. "It's nice. Quiet." When the warm dishes they had ordered were served and steam began to rise from them, the sharp tension from the office slowly started to melt away. Carefully, but with a question he had wanted to ask for a long time, Noah spoke. "How have you been? In New York?" At Noah's question, Leo's hand paused briefly while he was using his chopsticks. Leo stared into empty space, his expression as if he were pulling up a memory from somewhere very far away. "I just lived. For the first few years, I was so busy surviving that I didn't have room to think about anything else. My English was clumsy, I had no money in my pocket. There was nothing I didn't do, starting with washing dishes at restaurants." Noah felt a dull ache in his chest. He could almost picture the loneliness and hardship that the boy who had always shone at school must have gone through in a foreign land. "Still, you're smart. I thought you would have settled down quickly. Being smart and surviving are different things. But it's strange. Even when my body felt like it was about to break, whenever I lay down at night, I would always think of the view outside that old classroom window in Korea. And your back as you sat by that window." Leo spoke calmly, but Noah could tell how much longing had been pressed down beneath that calmness. Leo smiled bitterly and added, "Then I was lucky enough to meet a good mentor, and after holding on desperately, I ended up here. It might look glamorous to other people, but I was just clinging to work like a madman for 7 years, trying to fill the empty space you left behind." "What about you? How have you been?" This time, Leo asked. Noah poked at the side dish on his plate and let out a small sigh. "Me? I just lived normally. After you left, I didn't even have the courage to ask about you for a while, so I just studied. I went to college, got a job, just like everyone else." "Liar." Leo stared intently at Noah. "I can see everything from your expression. You lived just as boringly as I did. Did you date anyone?" At the direct question, Noah panicked and nearly choked. "What are you?" "I told you I was busy. I was working, so I didn't even have time to think about things like that." "That's a relief. Otherwise, I would have been the only one feeling wronged." Leo smiled playfully for the first time. It was the same boyish smile he used to wear 7 years ago on the rooftop when he stole Noah's snacks and ate them. The moment Noah saw that smile, he finally felt the tension inside him completely loosen. "To be honest, I was scared at first," Noah confessed, fiddling with his glass. "I thought you would hate me terribly. No, I knew it would be only natural for you to hate me. But still, facing you directly scared me. The things I said to you were too full of thorns. I hated you. But Noah, do you know something? Even hating someone takes strength. I spent half my life hating you and the other half missing you." Leo's voice sank low and deep. "When I saw you laughing with Assistant Manager Park at the office earlier, I suddenly thought of that backyard from 7 years ago, and anger surged up inside me. It felt like you were living just fine, as if nothing had happened, while I was the only one still trapped in that day, struggling to get out. I wasn't fine either, Leo. I was stopped in that day too, just like you. That's why, when I saw you getting angry, I actually felt relieved. It felt like it meant I was still somewhere inside your heart." Their gazes met in the air. Now, instead of sharp hatred or inferiority, something soft was blooming between them, pity for each other and lingering feelings neither of them had been able to let go of. After leaving the restaurant, the two of them walked side by side along the night street. The distance between them was much closer than before. Leo slowed his steps to match Noah's pace. Tomorrow. Please don't torment me too much at work, team leader. Noah said it in a joking tone. Leo gave a small laugh and lightly stroked Noah's hair. It was a touch as natural as it had been in the past. Well, work is work. If you don't bring me a proper proposal, I might say you're being clingy again. Your personality really has changed. You have to change to survive, but still. There are times when I want to go back to being the old Kang Leo, only in front of you. Like today. They reached the entrance of the alley in front of Noah's house. Leo stopped and looked at Noah. Sleep well, Noah. Don't run away. I won't. Noah smiled brightly and waved his hand. Until Leo got into his car and drove away. Noah remained standing there, looking up at the night sky. The morning in the office was as busy as usual, but there was one thing on Noah's desk that was different from any other day. A warm latte from the brand Noah liked to drink. There was no sender's name, but the initial L, scrawled messily on the cup holder, made it painfully obvious who had done it. Noah glanced around cautiously, then quietly pulled the cup toward him and took a sip. It felt as if the warmth they had shared at the late-night restaurant yesterday was spreading through his body again. Just then, the door to the team leader's office opened, and Leo walked out. The exhaustion from yesterday was nowhere to be seen. Dressed once again in a sharply tailored suit, he had returned to being the arrogant team leader with a cutting edge. But when he passed Noah's desk for one fleeting moment, his eyes met Noah's. The faint smile tugging at the corner of his lips was a signal only Noah could recognize. Assistant Manager Lee, are the materials for this afternoon's meeting ready? Yes, team leader. I'll share them with you before noon. It was a dry, businesslike exchange, but there was a strange sweetness mixed into the air. It was a sharp, yet sweet tension, shared only by two people who had crossed 7 years of time to reach each other again. During the afternoon planning meeting, Noah's presentation continued among the team members seated around the conference room table. Leo rested his chin on his hand and focused on Noah's voice. No, to be exact. He let his gaze roam over Noah's lips. As he spoke, his slender fingers as he flipped through the materials, and the slight furrow between his brows whenever he became serious, as if he were savoring each detail. Everywhere Leo's gaze touched, Noah's skin burned so much that it was unbearable. Assistant Manager Lee's plan this time has a very good direction, especially this target analysis. It's quite detailed. At Leo's praise, the team members stirred. It was the first time the man known as the Viper had reacted so generously to such small details. From the seat beside him, Min-seok looked back and forth between Leo and Noah with suspicious eyes. After the meeting ended, Leo approached Noah as he was gathering his things and handed him a document. I'd like you to explain this part to me in more detail in my office. Right now. It was an official instruction, but Leo's low voice tickled Noah's ear and invaded a private space. Noah nodded and followed him into the team leader's office. As soon as the team leader's office door closed, Leo lowered the blinds. Before Noah could even turn around in surprise, Leo lightly grabbed him by the waist and pulled him toward his desk. Team leader, outside. No one is watching. And we came in here to talk about work, didn't we? As if he had no interest whatsoever in the document in Noah's hand, Leo lightly swept back the hair at the nape of Noah's neck. Every time his fingers hovered near Noah's ear, Noah held his breath. Did you sleep well yesterday? Was the coffee all right this morning? Yeah. Thanks to you, it helped me wake up. But things like this are a little dangerous. I think Min-seok noticed. At the mention of Min-seok, Leo's eyes sharpened again. He lightly lifted Noah's chin, making him look at him. Don't say that bastard's name in my office. It ruins my mood. Leo pushed his face closer, stopping just short of touching Noah's lips. It was an unstable distance, close enough for an accident to happen at any moment. Noah's heartbeat was pounding so loudly it felt as if it might break the silence. And then, knock knock. The cautious sound of a knock came from someone in the secretarial office. The two of them hurriedly moved apart as if they had been electrocuted. Noah quickly straightened his clothes, and Leo answered in a deliberately cold voice. What is it? Team leader, you have a guest from New York. She came without an appointment, but she said she absolutely had to see you. Leo's brow furrowed. New York? Who is it? Before the secretary could finish speaking, the door to the team leader's office opened roughly. With the sound of high heels, a woman with a glamorous air walked inside. She took off her sunglasses and gave Leo a seductive smile. Leo, it's been a while. How could you run off to Korea without even contacting me? Noah's eyes widened. She was Elena, the heiress of a major investment firm in New York, and the woman who had always been by Leo's side as his business partner when he was in the United States. Her appearance, which Noah had only heard about through rumors, instantly overturned the peaceful atmosphere of the office. Elena naturally placed her hand on Leo's arm, showing her familiarity with him. Leo seemed flustered and glanced at Noah, but he could not coldly shake off Elena's hand. "I'm in the middle of work, Elena. How did you know to come here? How did I know?" "You know I'd follow you to the ends of the earth if that's where you were." "Oh, is this your secretary?" Elena's gaze settled on Noah. Her eyes looked elegant, but there was something cold in them. All at once, Noah felt as if he had become a stranger who did not belong in this glamorous background. "He's not my secretary. He's a capable assistant manager on our team." Assistant manager Lee Noah. Leo corrected her, but Elena looked Noah up and down as if amused. "Really? Leo, you came to Korea and at least picked quite a pretty little thing for your team." Noah felt humiliated, and at the same time, a corner of his chest began to throb. The existence of this woman, who must have stayed by Leo's side during the 7 years of emptiness, seemed to turn all the subtle feelings of flirtation they had shared just moments ago into ashes in an instant. "Team leader, I'll excuse myself now." Noah escaped from the team leader's office as if running away. Behind him, Elena's high laughter and Leo's low voice struck painfully against Noah's ears. The sound of the team leader's office door closing rang out unusually heavy. Noah returned to his seat and sat down, but the letters on the monitor in front of him drifted uselessly, like oil floating on water. The whispers of the team members heading toward the pantry pierced him like thorns. "Did you see that woman just now? She looked like a total model. I heard she was team leader Kang's partner when he was in New York. Apparently, she's a big name in the investment world. Her aura is no joke." Noah swallowed dryly. Only 30 minutes ago, Leo's breath had been tickling his ear. Now, reality had gone cold enough to make him wonder if all of that had been an illusion. In the world Leo had built over the past 7 years, there were countless dazzling pieces Noah knew nothing about, and Elena was the brightest and sharpest piece among them. As closing time approached, the door to the team leader's office opened. Leo walked out with Elena. Elena was naturally holding on to the sleeve of Leo's jacket, and though Leo looked troubled, he could not forcefully push her away. It was an ambiguous attitude where business and personal feelings were tangled together. Leo's gaze instinctively moved toward Noah's desk. Noah quickly lowered his head and gathered his things. "Assistant Manager Lee, you haven't left yet?" Leo stopped and asked. Elena looked at Noah with interest and pressed herself even closer to Leo's arm. "Leo, hurry. We're going to be late for our dinner reservation." "Assistant Manager Lee should be going home now too, shouldn't he? I hope we didn't get in your way." Elena's tone was polite, but inside it was a clear warning not to step into their territory. Noah forced the corners of his mouth upward. "No, I was just about to leave too." "Have a nice dinner, team leader." Avoiding Leo's eyes, Noah quickly left the office. From behind him, he thought he heard Leo call out quietly, "Noah," but Noah did not stop. On a bench in the park near the company, Noah sat blankly, rubbing his cold hands together. Then someone pressed a warm can of coffee against Noah's cheek. "What are you doing here looking so miserable? I thought you went home." It was Min Seok. He sat down naturally beside Noah and handed him the can of coffee. "Min Seok, you didn't leave?" "Noah, your expression looked really bad, so I was worried and followed you." "Is it because of that woman earlier? She did seem really close to team leader Kang." Instead of answering, Noah gave a bitter smile. Min Seok opened his can and continued speaking. "Noah, don't let it bother you too much. People from that world are always like that. Flashy, complicated. It's a bit too much for someone as clear and pure as you to handle. I just don't want you to get hurt." Min Seok's comfort was gentle. It was the complete opposite of Leo's possessive gaze and sharp, cutting words. After hesitating for a moment, Min Seok carefully placed an arm around Noah's shoulder. "Come to me instead, Noah. At least I won't make you feel anxious." Noah could not reject Min Seok's touch. The wound Leo had given him was too deep, and a cowardly part of him began to raise its head, wishing that anyone would fill this emptiness. In the hallway in front of his home, Noah stopped while searching for his key in his bag. A black silhouette was leaning against the wall beside his door. It was Leo. The faint smell of alcohol lingered around him. His tie was roughly loosened, and he had been waiting for Noah. "You're only coming home now? Weren't you going out to dinner? Why are you here?" "To see you. When I saw you leave the office with that expression earlier, I couldn't just sit still." Leo staggered toward him and pushed Noah against the wall. His eyes were a mixture of anger and sadness. "Were you with Park Min-seok?" What about you? Didn't you have a pleasant time with Elena? She said so herself, that she'd follow you anywhere you were, for 7 years. I guess the two of you must have been very special to each other. At Noah's thorny words, Leo let out a hollow laugh. Are you jealous, right now? No, I feel pathetic. Because whether it was 7 years ago or now, I'm still an idiot who only gets dragged around by you, team leader. Instead of answering, Leo gripped both of Noah's shoulders tightly. Strength entered the tips of his fingers. Elena is only a business partner. No matter who was beside me, the only one in my head was you. How many times do I have to tell you that? But why do you keep pushing me away and going to smile at that bastard? Because I'm scared. I'm scared I'll be abandoned again. Scared I'll be the only one left behind again. At Noah's shout, Leo stopped moving. The tears Noah had been holding back spilled from his eyes and rolled down his cheeks. It felt as if the sound of Noah's heart, once clear and fragile as glass, finally shattering, could be heard. With a twisted expression, Leo wiped Noah's tears away with his fingers. His touch was trembling. I won't abandon you. Never. Unless you kill me, I will never be the first one to let you go. Leo pressed his forehead against Noah's. In the dark hallway, their hot breaths tangled together. The air between them changed. The hallway lights must have been nearing the end of their life, because they flickered at regular intervals, stretching the two men's shadows long across the floor. Each time darkness and light crossed over each other, Leo's wet eyes filled Noah's vision. Under the force of Leo's hands pressing down on his shoulders, Noah drew in a sharp breath. You won't abandon me? Did you forget what you did 7 years ago? Noah's voice burst out in an accusation mixed with tears. You disappeared without saying a single word. Then you came back and acted all arrogant. And now you're making me feel miserable beside a woman like Elena. You always do whatever you want. You shake me up and you don't even give me room to run away. Noah's fist weakly struck Leo's firm chest. It was a blow driven more by sorrow than anger. Leo did not avoid it. Instead, he wrapped his hand around Noah's fist and pressed it to the center of his own chest, over his heart that was beating wildly. Can you feel it? This is what you made. Leo's voice vibrated low against Noah's ear. 7 years ago, I was a coward. Just like you said, my pride was hurt badly enough to make me want to die, and I ran away. But Noah, during all those 7 years, my heart never once beat this fast. From the moment I saw you again, I haven't been sane for even a second. Leo let go of Noah's hand and instead pulled his waist in hard. Their bodies pressed together without a single gap between them. As each other's heat passed through the fabric of their shirts, Noah's mind flashed white. Elena is only a remnant of my past. But you are my present and the only future I want, even if I have to beg for it. Leo's face came right up in front of Noah's, his deep scent, mixed with the smell of alcohol and his breath laced with desperation, tickled Noah's lips. Even as Noah thought he had to run away, he gripped Leo's suit collar tightly as if drawn by a magnet. Leo. The moment Noah called his name, Leo's patience snapped. There was no telling who moved first. Leo tilted his head and swallowed Noah's lips. The unfinished moment that had ended 7 years ago in that abandoned classroom, with a slap across the face, finally became reality and exploded. At first it was rough, as if trying to resolve all the resentment and thirst that had built up over the years in a single moment. Leo persistently pressed into Noah's lips. Noah could not gather his senses under the tidal wave of sensation that rushed over him, but instinctively, he wrapped his arms around Leo's neck. It felt as if sparks flew everywhere their lips touched. Every time Leo's tongue softly curled into his mouth, Noah's toes lifted slightly off the floor. Hot saliva mingled, and their tangled breaths filled the narrow hallway. Noah. Leo pulled his lips away for a moment and cupped Noah's cheeks as if he were handling a precious jewel. There were tears in his eyes. It was Kang Leo at his weakest and most honest, a side of him he had not shown anyone for 7 years. This isn't a dream, right? You're really standing in front of me right now, aren't you? Instead of answering, Noah pressed his lips to Leo's again. This time, it was a little softer, a little more aching. In that kiss, as if they were licking each other's wounds, Noah finally felt that he had come home. After a long kiss, the two of them rested their foreheads together and caught their ragged breaths. Noah's lips were swollen red, and Leo's eyes glistened with heat. I hate it when you go to Park Min-seok. Leo said it in a sulky voice, like a stubborn child throwing a tantrum. Noah let out a small laugh. I won't go. Earlier, I only did that because I hated you so much. Don't ever do it again. Unless you really want to see me go insane? Leo pressed a small, audible kiss beside Noah's ear and held him tightly in his arms. Hello, this is Seoulmuse. Thank you for listening to today's episode. 18+ audiobook is available on my Patreon. Don't miss the next chapter. Watch the exclusive full story unfold all the way to the ending on Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe and join me. Thank you for watching.